Hello everyone, welcome back yet again. We will be doing with chapter 3 Nationalism in India. Okay, so we'll be dealing with the last portion of this chapter. Okay, and at the last part of this video there will be some activity which you will have to do. Okay, and then submit it to me in my contact. Okay, so today in this chapter what you will be learning, today in this chapter you will be learning about the Simon Commission, the civil disobedient movement, as well as a brief note on Subhash Chandra Bose and his life and his dedication to the national movement, as well as we'll know about the cabinet mission plan which was set up in India. Okay, so moving on, we will be dealing with the Simon Commission. Okay, so what was the Simon Commission all about? Okay, Simon Commission was a commission, okay, which was under Sir John Simon, okay, who was asked by the British government, okay, to formulate kind of a commission in India. Okay, so after he was asked by the British government, okay, what happened was that he formulated or formed the Simon Commission in 1927, okay, and after that 7 members who were in the British Parliament, okay, 7 members of the British Parliament were also included in the Simon Commission. Okay, so what happened was that the Indians at large, okay, the Indian National Congress, the Hindu Mahasabha, as well as the Muslim League, they all wanted to boycott the Simon Commission, okay, because what happened was this commission had all white members. All the 7 members who were there in the Simon Commission were British people. Okay, and in order to decide the future of India, Indians also wanted to be involved in the Simon Commission, okay, in order to plan out for India. Okay, but what happened was that it was a all-white committee, and so what happened? A congress session was held in Madras in 1927, which was led by, okay, or which was presided over by Dr. M.A. Ansari. Okay, so when this session ended, the Congress decided that they would boycott the Simon Commission. Okay, so what happened? The following year in 1928, the Simon Commission landed up in India, okay, with all the 7 members coming to India. Okay, so when they landed up in India, they were not greeted happily by the Indians. Okay, people protested in the streets holding black flags, okay, and they were chanting slogans, they were writing slogans such as Simon go back, Simon go back. Okay, and later on what happened? When they started this kind of protest, the British soldiers brutally lathi charged the Indian protesters who were there on the street protesting against the Simon Commission. Okay, and what happened? And in Lahore, okay, when the commission reached in Lahore, present-day Pakistan, okay, which was a part of India, Lala Lajpat Rai played a very crucial role, because it was through him that the Simon Commission was boycotted as well as rejected. Okay, but unfortunately, Lala Lajpat Rai was beaten up severely by the British people, okay, and he died because of the injury which was caused by the beating of the British officers. And so after this kind of incident, what happened was a new constitution was drafted. Okay, a new constitution was drafted under the leadership of Motilal Nehru in 1928. Okay, and after that he produced a report, okay, which was known as the Nehru Report, okay, which presented a constitution for India, okay, on the lines that the Indians would be self-governing dominions under the British rule, that Indians would rule themselves under the British rule. Okay, Indians would have an administration of its own, but under the leadership of the British. Okay, this was a Nehru report, and at the Congress at the Lahore session, which happened in 29th to 31st December 1929, okay, the Congress adopted the resolution for complete independence. It was here that the Congress adopted the resolution, okay, for a complete independence, okay, and later on Jawaharlal Nehru on 31st December he hoisted the first India flag, okay, as an example of Indian independence, okay, and later on it was decided that 26 January 1930 would be celebrated as Independence Day, okay, where people would come together and realize that India was independent, okay. However, we come to know that, okay, the British didn't fully leave the Indians, okay, and later on they had to keep on struggling and fighting, okay, fighting to achieve complete independence, okay. So from this day onwards, they started celebrating 26 January 1930 as an Independence Day, and later on it was turned as the Republic Day, okay. Okay, next we have the civil disobedient movement. So the civil disobedient movement was a movement which was started by Mahatma Gandhi, okay. It was started in 12 March 1930, okay, which was a famous march which was also known as the Dandi March, okay. It was violating the British rule and not obeying to the British rule, okay. So what happened was that he marched to Dandi from 12 March 1930, and so finally when he reached Dandi in 6th April 1930, what happened was he picked up a pinch of salt and he violated the salt law, okay. He broke the salt law because during that time salt was very expensive and they had to pay a high tax to the British government. So what happened was Gandhiji decided to violate this salt law and not to obey the British people, okay, with which, okay, it also led to the defiance as well as violation of the forest law, okay, and also this civil disobedient movement was spreading at a very fast rate all over India, okay, and so the British had to compromise with it and had to talk with the Gandhiji, okay, with which what happened, okay, they decided to have an agreement and a Gandhi-Irwin Pact, okay. After much discussion, a Gandhi-Irwin Pact was formulated in 1931, okay, which finally led to the suspension of the civil disobedient movement for a short period of time, okay, and it was again relaunched in 1932. So now we'll be moving into Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, okay. During this period of time, okay, during this 20th century, there were a huge number of freedom fighters who were born, okay, and it is the era which is known for freedom fighters, okay, and as such, okay, Subhash Chandra Bose, okay, who was also popularly known as Netaji by the Indians, okay, also played a crucial role in the movement against independence, okay. So Netaji had a great influence of two persons, okay, that is Lokmanya Tilak and Aurobindo Ghosh, okay, Aurobindo Ghosh, as well as he followed their ways, okay, and he was also greatly inspired by Gandhiji and his work, okay, but he did not agree on terms of Gandhiji. Gandhiji wanted to adopt a non-violent means of protest against the British in order to win independence, whereas Subhash Chandra Bose's idea, okay, Netaji's idea was different. He thought that it was only through violent means that India would achieve independence, okay. So what happened? So Rana Pratap and Shivaji were Netaji's hero. There were two persons who were great admiration for Netaji, okay. And what happened at first, okay, Subhash Chandra Bose joined the Indian National Congress, okay, and he was also elected as the president of the Indian National Congress for 2 times, okay, but he did not agree with terms of Gandhiji and his ideas. So what happened, he had to broke off with the Gandhiji and he had to establish a forward bloc of its own, okay. So he was imprisoned many times for his protests as well as revolutionary activities, okay. And during the time of World War II, what happened, okay, the British were in a tight spot, okay, because they were very much pressured by Hitler. And so what happened, Netaji was under detention in Calcutta, okay, due to his revolutionary activities. He was detained in Calcutta, okay. And what happened, he wanted to take advantage of that situation because the British were not focusing so much on India because of the World War. And so he also thought that it would be a good idea to defeat the British through violent means, okay. So what happened was he dressed himself as a Pathan, okay, and he escaped to Peshawar, okay, that is the currently in Pakistan. After that he moved to Kabul and then he moved to Moscow, okay, where he met Hitler, and he also appealed to Hitler for his help, okay. And Hitler also promised to help Netaji in his fight with the British, okay. And afterwards, okay, he organized all the Indian prisoners, okay, of war from the Liberation Army and Free India. So what happened was he wanted to form an army. So what he did, all the people who were in prison, who were fighting for the cause of independence, okay, who were in prison, he collected all those people and he formulated, okay, he opened a liberation army, okay, in order to free India. So what happened, following in 1943, okay, Netaji, he left for Japan, okay, and he formed the Indian National Army in Singapore in 1943, okay. He didn't form the army in India, but he went to Japan, and after which he got the idea and he established, or he opened, the Indian National Army in Singapore, okay. So in 1945, okay, witnessed the INA waging a war in northeast of the country, okay. So what happened was, during the World War, okay, Subhash Chandra Bose and his army all marched all the way to Myanmar, and they entered the Manipur region and they started marching towards Nagaland, okay, to fight against the British people, okay. However, what happened, he also raised slogans, very inspirational slogans such as Delhi Chalo, okay, and he inspired all his army, okay. But unfortunately, what happened, in August 1945, okay, Bose died in a plane crash when he was flying from Bangkok, okay, to Tokyo. So he was not successful. He could not live up to see the independence of the country India, okay. So unfortunately, he did so much for the freedom of India, but he was not able to see the final product of what happened. And the last topic for today is the Cabinet Mission Plan, okay. It was introduced in 1946. So the Cabinet Mission Plan, okay, was a mission, okay, which was sent by the British administration, or British government, okay, from Britain, okay. It was a 3-member committee, okay. So it was led by Sir Patrick Lawrence, Stafford Cripps and Avi Alexander, okay. So what happened was that all of them worked in the British cabinet, and so thereafter, okay, it was known as the Cabinet Mission because they were working under the British cabinet, Okay, so this 3-member group, okay, was sent to India. Okay, was sent to India on 24th March 1946. Okay, so it reached India on 24th March 1946, and its main objective, okay, or main mission of the cabinet, plan of the cabinet mission, okay, was to establish an Constituent Assembly for India, okay, and also to establish an interim government for India. So when the cabinet mission arrived in India, okay, so it tried to have contact, as well as they tried to bring negotiation among two group of people. Okay, the first was the Muslim League, okay, as well as the Indian National Congress. Okay, there indifferences between these two group of people, because the Muslim League, they wanted a separate nation of their own, they wanted a Muslim country of their own, whereas the INC, okay, the Indian National Congress, they wanted a united India. Okay, at this instance, okay, the cabinet mission tried to bring a negotiation, try to improve the condition between the INC as well as the Muslim League. Okay, but however, okay, when they tried to resolve, okay, they had a prolonged discussion about this topic, uniting the Muslim League and the INC, okay, for an independent nation. Okay, so first week it was in vain, second week it was in vain, and it went into third week. Okay, and when they reached third week, okay, their negotiation didn't go anywhere. Okay, they couldn't bring a solution to the problems. Okay, and so what happened? The cabinet mission directly said, okay, to both the parties, look, here we are going to do something, okay, and both of you have to agree. Okay, so what did the cabinet mission say? So according to them, okay, they wanted to create an undivided India. Okay, they didn't want India to be separated. Okay, and also they didn't want a separate electorate. Okay, they didn't want a Muslim electorate, they didn't want the Hindu electorate to be there in India. Okay, they wanted only one undivided India as a whole. Okay, there will be no separate electorate, there will be only one. Okay, so what happened was the British government, they divided India, okay, into they gave 3 provisions under which India was divided into 3 sections. Okay, so you can just refer to your page 39. Okay, section A comprised of Madras, Bombay, United Province, Bihar, Central Province, and Orissa. Section B included areas such as Punjab, okay, northwestern frontiers provinces, okay, as well as you had Sindh. Okay, section C comprised of Muslim majority areas such as Bengal and Assam. Okay, so the British government, okay, they established a 3 federation, okay, and they divided it into union, okay, which was considered as the center. Okay, you have the section or the groups, and then later on we have the provinces. Okay, so the power was divided accordingly. Okay, so what happened was, in the union, defense, foreign affairs, and communication was given. Okay, minimal powers were given to the center, whereas the province, okay, they had all the remaining powers in their hand. So what happened was, the cabinet mission was designed in such a way that the center or the union was very weak. Okay, and all the power was in the hands of the province. Okay, so after which what happened was, all these groups, okay, all these groups were free to have a separate constitution of its own according to their own will. Okay, so what happens, the Muslim religious majority, okay, they will have their own constitution, the Hindus will have their own constitution of their own according to their will. Okay, and also these groups can change this group. Okay, in terms of 5 years they can change their group. Okay, so we had 3 sections. Okay, section A, B, C. So what they can do is that after 5 years they can either go to section B or they can either go to section A as well. Okay, so that was how it was very flexible, okay, when it came about. So lastly, the Constituent Assembly. Okay, the Constituent Assembly was supposed to have 389 seats. Okay, out of which 292 seats were given to the provincial assembly. Okay, to the provincial states it was given. Okay, princely state, the Indian states were given 93 members. Okay, or 93 seats. Okay, to be in the Constituent Assembly, and 4 seats were given to the Chief Commissioner of the provinces. Okay, and so with this, okay, it led to the forming of the Constituent Assembly. Later it became as the interim government as well. Okay, so with the establishment of the Constituent Assembly, okay, what happened was INC, okay, INC as well as the Muslim League, they all had this different perspective about it. Okay, so the Muslim League, okay, they happily agreed to this Constituent Assembly which was set up, okay, because it provided benefit to them. It will provide benefit to the Muslims, because what Jinnah thought was he wanted both Section B and Section C. Okay, these were the areas which had Muslim majority. Okay, so he thought that after 5 to 10 years he would be able to separate the Section B and Section C from the Indian Union. Okay, and he would make a Muslim majority country out of it. Okay, so that was his motive, and he was thinking on a very broad scale. With this, okay, the Muslim League accepted the Cabinet Mission Plan on 10 June 1946. Okay, but the INC, okay, the Indian National Congress, had different perspective. Okay, and he said that, okay, it's good that you are not demanding for a separate nation, okay, to Jinnah. And they said, okay, and they said, Gandhiji said that the northwestern frontier province as well as Assam, okay, was a Congress majority area. Okay, and they should, and in return, okay, they said that they should, okay, have the freedom to choose, okay, have the freedom to do whatever they want, and they have the freedom to choose, okay, whether they want to change their group or not. Okay, it is not compulsory for them to change their groups. Okay, so this gave a severe blow to Jinnah as well. Okay, and so what happened? Okay, both the parties, they were confused, and they went to the cabinet mission, okay, and they asked them, okay, and they asked them whether this changing of groups after 5 years was compulsory or not. Okay, so the cabinet mission plan, okay, they were in favor of the INC. Okay, they told that the INC was the changing of groups, okay, was not compulsory for the states. Okay, they can do whatever they want. Okay, that gave a severe blow again to Jinnah. And so what happened? Again, he rejected the cabinet mission plan. So what happened was the Muslim League rejected the cabinet mission plan. Okay, and what happened was Gandhiji, okay, and the INC also was not agreeing with the Constituent Assembly. Okay, why? Because they had a very weak center. I've already told you they had defense, external affairs, and communication in the center. Okay, so the center was very weak, and the provinces had more powers in it. Okay, so what happened was the Congress were not very reluctant to accept the Constituent Assembly. Okay, but what happened? Gandhiji realized that this was a very good offer for India. Okay, which Indians would not be able to do it alone. Okay, and so it was a very good offer in terms of India. Okay, so what happened was in August 1946, okay, Gandhiji formally accepted the Constituent Assembly. Okay, with this we come to the end of the chapter, and this is the activity for you. Please write it in your notebook, okay, and then send me in my number. Thank you and have a nice day.